Good evening, everybody. It is Teacher Ian. I'm the owner of Right Start Newcomer Services. Welcome to tonight's live stream about writing business emails. Now, if you've ever struggled knowing how or what to write in a business email, this is the lesson for you. By the way, if you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe to our channel. That will help us a lot and support us and give us some money to keep producing these videos and live streams. All right, so if you're watching live, please comment. If you're watching the video, you can comment in the comment section of YouTube or Facebook. And I'd like to know if anybody's out there, say hello, introduce yourself. This is a great way to practice your English and meet new people. All right, now in tonight's lesson, we're going to learn a lot of great stuff. Here's our outline. This is what we're going to cover tonight. We're going to start with a great discussion about business emails. We're going to do an activity about writing email addresses and learning how to say email addresses correctly. I think that's really important. We're also going to go over some vocabulary related to business emails. So that'll be a great way to learn some new words, practice our spelling a little bit. In addition, we're going to practice some opening and closing phrases for writing business emails. After that, we're going to do a proofreading activity so you guys can look for mistakes in an email that I wrote. Finally, at the end, you guys are going to write your own email. I'm going to check it. We're going to help check each other's. And if you're watching the video on, say, YouTube, you can write your answer in the comment section, and I will get back to you. I also will share my business email address. So if you want to write your email later at any time, send it to this address, and I'll take a quick look for you. All righty. How's the weather there? The weather here is snowy. I think it's raining now. Yeah, it's messy, ugly January day in Halifax, Nova Scotia. So tell me what you're doing. Tell me what the weather's like there. Just say hello. We do have one comment. Abraham is watching us now. Abraham says, hello, teacher Ian. Hope you doing good, sir. I'm doing pretty good. You know, the last day or so has been a little stressful. We have 3 cats and 2 of them had surgery. So I took the day off work today and we're at home taking care of the kitties, but they're doing great. They're healthy, they're strong. Hopefully tomorrow will be even better. But thank you, Abraham. I hope you're doing well as well. You might want to say, Abraham, in your sentence, hello, teacher Ian. Hope you are doing good. And actually, it's better to say, I hope you are doing well. So change that a little bit, Abraham. Hope you are doing well, sir. And then that will be a perfect sentence. All right, welcome, Abraham. And I hope there are some other people watching. If not, that's okay. I like to talk to myself. All right, the plan, we went over the plan for today. The objective, this is what we want to learn. How to start, write, end, and proofread a simple business email. And why are we learning this? So this is for you who are in classes in Canada or will take classes in Canada. This is one of the Canadian language benchmarks, the writing benchmark. So at different levels, we have different requirements to prove our English ability. This one is level 4, and it says as a learner, you have to write simple business or service messages. And those are about 7 sentences long. So this is a requirement. If you want to get to level 5, complete level 4, you will have to write business emails at some point. And then don't worry about all the other stuff it says after that. Conveys main ideas and supports them, uses language and content that are appropriate to the purpose, intent, and social context, blah, 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 blah. The main thing is you have to write emails that are about 7 sentences long for level 4. Level 5, same thing, but a little bit longer. It just says 1 paragraph long. So that could be 6, 7, 8 sentences, and you need to use the proper language when you're writing these kind of business emails. And you have to convey your message clearly. Benchmark 6, same idea, maybe a little bit more, maybe fewer mistakes in your writing, fewer errors, expanded vocabulary. But for all the levels, pretty much from level 3, 4, and up, you have to write some kind of business email. All right, let's go into our discussion. I'd like to hear from you. How do you improve your writing skills? This is a personal question. I'd like to know what you do personally to work on your writing. Do you write in a journal? That's a good way to practice your English. Do you write practice emails, or do you write emails for work in English? What else can you do? Some people, do a spelling list or vocabulary lists. They write down new words and then they practice spelling them 20, 30 times until they memorize them. But what are the tricks? What are the strategies that you have for improving your writing? And I'd love to hear those. Number 2, what kinds of business emails do we have to write in our lives? If you're working, maybe you have to write some business emails for work. If you maybe get some business or service, so you want to contact a company and ask for a service or ask a question about a product, that's a business email. But what types of business emails do we write? And the last question is, what was the last business email you wrote? For me, it was at my other job, and I have to write messages to customers a lot. I have to write messages to my coworkers and my bosses, explaining, how things went with a customer. I have to write about meetings and things like that. But what was the last one that you wrote? And I'll give you a few minutes to think about it. Write your answer in the chat. And I'm back. One really good tip for writing in English is to write on paper. A lot of people nowadays don't like to write on paper. They want to type everything or just dictate, which is using your voice, and your phone or computer will change it to text. But that doesn't help you as much as actually writing on paper. So I would say, number 1, how do you improve your writing skills? Get a pen, get a piece of paper, and start writing that way. And then after you correct it, you can always type it up later. But writing pen to paper is a great way to improve your writing skills. And hopefully a few people will share some other strategies for improving your writing. If not, you can come back to this later in the video and we will move on for now. Anyway, if you started writing, keep writing. I'd like to hear what you think about these questions. I have a few tips that you can think about as an English learner that will help you to write business emails. The first one is that they can be formal or informal. A lot of learners think that business email must be formal. So you have to use formal language. You have to use complicated vocabulary, and that's not true at all. Really, it depends on the situation. If you're writing to a coworker, you don't have to be so formal. If you're writing to a company that you want to apply for a job for, then you should use formal language. But really, it depends. What is that email for, and who is that email being sent to? Hey, Pilar is here. Hey, Pilar. Hello, Teacher Ian. It's great to see you again. Happy New Year, a little late. Thank you, Pilar. It's great to see you again. I know it's been a while. It's been over a year, probably a year and a half or so. Welcome back. I'd love to hear how you're doing these days. Yeah, what have you been up to? I know the last time we spoke, I think you were planning to come to Canada, but I'd like to hear what's going on now. All right, next tip is to use straightforward everyday language. So don't try to use fancy words. We write emails, even business emails, the way that we speak. And if we speak clearly and simply, we should also write that way. And get to the point. Don't waste a lot of time with fancy words. You want to get straight to the point of what you want to say. Number 3, use the subject line. So in an email, it's different from a letter. We have a line where you write the subject. That's a really important line. Don't have to write complete sentences or use perfect grammar. Just state what is the main point of that email. That will help you focus when you're writing the email on that one topic. Number 4, state the reason for writing the email at the beginning. So like I said, don't waste time. Get straight to the point with business emails. It's different from reading for pleasure. Reading a business email, you want to get the points very quickly. Very important. Any writing you do, especially business writing, is to check for errors. You want to check a few things. You want to check spelling, grammar, punctuation. What else? Word choice, maybe that you're not repeating the same words often. So these are things that you really want to check carefully when writing an email. And if it's really important, having somebody else check it over too is important. Next one, the openings and closings are usually followed by a comma. So this is a punctuation tip. When you write an email, dear Barry, dear Jennifer, dear Pilar, you want to write a comma after that person's name. Same thing when you're ending. Sincerely, put a comma at the end. That's something that a lot of learners will forget to do. And last one is to be sure to use proper pronouns and titles. So don't just assume, right? You see somebody's name, you may assume it's a Mr. or Mrs. or Miss. Don't make that assumption. And if you don't know, use their full name or just their first name, right? You don't want to guess wrong and offend that person. So it's better if you know, you can use the correct pronoun. If you don't know, just use their full name. Hopefully these tips will help you when we go ahead and do some email writing practice. All right, this will be fun. This is sort of a listening and writing practice. Before we get into writing the full email, let's just talk about the email address. Because if you don't have the correct address, your email is useless because it won't go to the right person. Often email addresses use symbols. And I'm going to write the symbol. You guys tell me how you would spell it in words. Okay, so let's do the first one. What is this symbol? It's a little bit small there. I'm going to try to enlarge it. There. Can you see that symbol? How would you spell that symbol, or how would you say that symbol in English? It's the A with the circle around it, and it's very common in email addresses. Let's say I'm on the telephone and I want to tell somebody my email address so they can send me a business email. How would I say this symbol's name? Okay, any answers? All right, this one is easy. This is the at symbol. So we write it like this, but it just means at. So Ian at rightstartnewcomerservices.ca. Right, so this is the at symbol. All right, Spanish. I learned something new. In Spanish, it's arroba. Arroba? Arroba. Very cool. I learned something new. I will forget that probably, Pilar. But in English, we just say at. Easy. Right? Next symbol that we commonly use is this one. How do we say that one in English? And if you want to tell me another language like Spanish or Arabic, if you want to tell me how to say it in that language, great. But also tell me in English. Dot. Yes, exactly. That is perfect. So it's not a period when it's used in an email address. We just say dot. So this is, I'm going to write this down. D-O-T. That's what we say. It's in email addresses. It's in websites, .com, .ca, .us, right? So often there will be one or several dots in an email address, but we don't say period. We only say period when it's used at the end of a sentence, not in an email address. Perfect, Pilar. Great job. Next one that you will see is this symbol. At the bottom of the line, it's like the short line at the bottom. For example, in this case. For example, in this email address, you have between the Oscar and Martinez, you have that symbol. What do we call that symbol? It's really important to know that name because it is very, very common. Again, what is that symbol called? Anyone? All right, Pilar. Doing great. That is an underscore. Write this down if you don't know in your notebook, your English learning notebook, underscore. We never really write out the word underscore, but we say it a lot when we're talking about email addresses. That is absolutely right. So underscore. Great job, Pilar. And the last one is a short line. Yasmin's here. Hey, Yasmin. A dash or hyphen. No, but the next one is that. The last one. This is when the line is in the middle. And Yasmin sort of already answered. It is a dash. It's also a hyphen. Hyphen is used for sentences and punctuation, but usually in email addresses, we say dash, right? So Ian dash Shepherd at rightstartcanada.com. So hyphen is for sentences, dash is for email addresses. And Pilar shared some more Spanish. Underscore is guión bajo. Guion, is that correct? Guion bajo? Bajo, I mean, I know is like under, right? Or below? No. Okay, great. So I learned another word in Spanish. Hopefully I can remember that. All right, the last one we talked about is the dash. I'm just gonna write it here. It's a dash. All right, so let's review the ones that we learned. We have at, that's the A symbol with the circle around it. We have this one, dot. So instead of period, it's a dot. When we put the line at the bottom, it's called underscore. And when we have the line in the middle, it's called a dash. All right, now we're going to do a little listening practice. Just 3. I'm going to read out 3 email addresses. Listen carefully, type them in. Some of them might have underscore, dash, at, and dots in them. All right, number 1. Everybody listening? So get ready to type. This will be a very quick activity. The first email address is Lisa underscore Sumith at calgarybiz.ca. And now I'll spell it for you. LISA underscore SUMITH at CALGARYBIZ.ca. Type that in. What email address did you hear? Put it in the chat and we'll see who is the fastest email address typer. I see 6 people are watching live. Let's see who is the fastest typer. I'll say it again. LISA underscore SUMITH at CALGARYBIZ.ca. We have an answer. Oh, you're so close. You're close, Pilar. Not quite. I see question marks at the end. You're not sure. You're very close. All right, the correct answer, here it is. Lisa, LISA underscore Sumith, SUMITH at Calgary. Calgary's a city in Alberta. Biz, B-I-Z, short for business.ca. A lot of Canadian email addresses end in CA. That's if they use a Canadian web hosting service. Good job, Pilar. You were very close. And let's go to the next email address. The next one is Bilbo-Baggins at welcomecanada.com. Now I'll spell it. BILBO dash BAGGINS at WELCOMECANADA.com. This is great listening practice, spelling practice. You have to listen pretty quickly. And this might be something that you do quite often at work or in your life. You know, listening to someone say their email address and you having to put it into your phone or writing it down on a piece of paper. This is a real world task, and hopefully you don't find it too difficult. Did anybody get the second one? I'll repeat one more time. BILBO BAGGINS at WELCOMECANADA.com. 3, 2, 1. Nobody got it. Why don't I just tell you what it is? There it is. Bilbo. I think that's a character from Lord of the Rings, the famous book and movie. BILBO. I don't think anybody in Canada really has that name. Dash. Remember I said dash BAGGINS at welcomecanada.com. So hopefully you got that. If you didn't get it, go back and listen later. Practice again. And the last one more, and then we'll move on to some email writing practice. This one is akbar.hussein at grabajuice.ca. I will spell it for you. AKBAR.HUSSEIN at GRABBAJUICE.ca. Akbar.hussein at grabajuice.ca. Did anybody get this one? Is anybody there? Three, two, one. Nobody got it. That's okay. Go back and practice this later. This is, a good skill to have, and it shouldn't be too difficult to listen and write down an email address. So if this is hard for you, keep practicing and you'll get it. Make sure you memorize those symbols. So at, dot, underscore, and dash, and things will be a lot easier for you. All right, let's move on. Here is a little bit of vocabulary that we use a lot in emails. Zoom in a little bit so you can see it. I have 5 words that are commonly used discussing emails or when writing emails. First is subject, signature, attachment, CC, and forward. Now, we might know these words already. Let's use these words to complete the 5 sentences. I'd like you to write the answer, which word goes in which blank. We can do number 1 together to make it a little bit easier. The blank comes at the end of the email and includes your name and contact information. May also include your company logo, some information about your company's telephone number as well, possibly. So what comes at the end of your email and includes your name and contact information? Number 1 is I'll give you a few seconds and then I'll share the answer. Number one is your signature. We use it doesn't have to be like a physical signature like you would do writing on a form or something. An email signature is the same word, but it's an electronic form of that. And it also includes your contact information, usually. Number two, please something this message to the correct person. So using the other words, subject, attachment, CC, or forward. CC is short for carbon copy. That means that you share it with somebody else who might not be directly involved with this email. For example, when I talk to a customer at my job, I may CC my manager, just so that we say in the loop. In the loop, they know what's happening related to that issue. All right, we got some great answers here. Pilar, attachment. So number three, attachment is a file that can be downloaded with an email. Often you might include a picture. It could be a PDF. It could be some other file you want to share at the same time as your email, and that is called an attachment. Great. Number four, don't forget to CC your boss when you send out the meeting request. Exactly right. And the last one, the blank is a short description of what the email is about. The subject. Exactly, Pilar, you got them all. And you got number two, forward. My answers are not showing up. Disha, I'm sorry to hear that. That one showed up. So I don't know what to tell you. That one did show up. Could be an internet connection issue. It could be a problem with my live streaming software, but hopefully it's fixed and your answers will show up. But welcome to the live stream, Disha. Thank you for sharing. So write down these words if you're not familiar with them. We use them quite a lot, and they are functions in your email program, like to add an attachment is a button you press, to CC or to forward. Those are different functions with your email software. When opening an email, keep these in mind. These are just some openings you can use because I'm going to get you to practice soon. The first one, dear, is probably the most common way to address a business email, especially if you don't know that person well. Dear Sir or Madam. Dear Mr. Jenkins, right? You don't have a personal relationship with them yet. You might want to use dear. And then the other one, to whom it may concern, that is used a lot when you don't know who exactly will be receiving the email. Say you're writing an email to a company because you want to apply for a job there. You don't know exactly who will receive that email. So you can use to whom it may concern. The other ones are a little less formal. Hello, hi, good morning, greetings. Those are a little bit less formal and they're used in less formal situations. Closing. We can use these closings. Take a minute to write them down if you like. Sincerely, regards, or best regards. Best wishes, thanks, all the best. Those are very common ways to finish or sign off on an email. So going back, write these down. Dear someone to whom it may concern. Hi or hello if you know that person. Good morning, greetings can be used whether you know that person or not. To close email, sincerely, regards, best wishes, thanks, or all the best. And remember that you put commas after those closings. Now let's do a good activity. This is good for everyone. I did write an email. It's probably at around a level 4 or 5. Your job here is to proofread it. And I think there are 12 mistakes that I would like you to find in this email. Let's take a moment to read it together. Then you can start to identify some of the errors in this email. So because it's an email, we have two. Who is this email to? greg.abbott@abc.com. From lawrence.jenkins@abc.com. Subject, hi Greg. Hi Greg. I wonder if I allowed to work from home next week. My wife traveling out of town and I need to pick up the kids' school. Also, I will like taking my lunch break from 2 to 3 p.m. instead of 12 to 1 p.m. So I won't miss work when I pick up then. I don't have some meeting scheduled and I can catch up on my paperwork without any distractions. Please let me know if this is acceptable. Thanks, Lawrence. So here's a work email, a business type email. Like I said, there are, I think, 12 mistakes. Try to read through it. What would you change? So what's wrong with it? Are there spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, capital letter mistakes, punctuation mistakes? Because how we write emails is really important. For the workplace, this reflects us as English speakers, but it also reflects on our workplace. And if they're dealing with somebody who makes a lot of mistakes in their emails, maybe they don't want to do business with you anymore. So go through, as soon as you see a mistake, say, for example, let's do the first one together. The subject is bad, right? The subject should say what this email is about, not just, hi, Greg. So I would change the subject to something like, can I work from home next week? Or working from home. May I work from home? Something like that about working from home, because that is the point of the email. Disha, got it. Subject is not addressing the email purpose. That is exactly right. So one problem, the subject is bad. It's not addressing the purpose of this email. Okay, we got one. Now there should be 11 more. Pilar, got another one. Period, capital letter. So that's one. My wife is traveling. Or, because it's future, Pilar, you could also say my wife will be traveling next week. So that's two mistakes. So together we've got 3 already. The subject, perfect. We got that one already, Pilar. So I think we found 3 so far, 9 to go. I wonder if I'm allowed to work from home. Yes, very good. So you need to have the helping verb, am. So you can use contractions in emails, no problem. I wonder if I am. Or you could also say, I wonder if I would be allowed to work from home next week. I wonder if I would be allowed to work from home. Or what Disha said is also correct. I wonder if I'm allowed to work from home next week. So you can use the present to talk about the future in some situations, and this is one of those situations where you can. All right, great job, Disha. All right, I think now we've got at least four mistakes. All right, Javier, awesome. Welcome to the live stream. I need to pick up the kids at school. Yes, at school, from school, but you need to have a word there, a preposition. At school, from school, either of those will work. Javier, good job. Good eye, way to catch that mistake. Disha says, my wife is traveling out of town and I need to pick up the kids from school. You don't have to say the school. School is one of those words that you don't need to use the article the. You could say their school, but in those commonly used locations, like home. I'm going home. I'm going to school. You don't have to say the school or the home in those situations. Okay, very good, Disha. Good try. You almost got it there. I think we've got at least 4 or 5 of them. Are there any more that you can see? We're not going to spend too much longer on this. I want to spend some time getting you guys to actually write emails. I think that would be really useful. Let's try to get 3 more mistakes, and then I'll show you my answer with the corrections. Instead of 12. Yes, good. So that's just a simple spelling mistake. A lot of people make a mistake with of, and they write FO instead of OF for some reason. But Disha caught it. Great job, Disha. You know that's a mistake. You're a good proofreader. So I think we have 6. I think we've caught 6 mistakes. Are there any more? I know there's quite a few at the end. Please let me know if this is acceptable. Great job, Javier. So what it says in here, blah, blah, blah. Please let me know if this acceptable. We are missing the helping verb is. Please let me know if this is acceptable. So that is perfectly correct. Javier got it. I don't have any meeting. So close. I would say S. Use the plural form of meeting, right? I don't have any meetings next week. When we use the negative, I don't have, we don't say some. I don't have any, and then we use plural form meetings next week. Great job, Disha. You're so close. One more, and then we'll move on to show you the answers, and then I'll get you guys to write an email. And that's all the time we have for tonight. I'll remind you, if you're watching the video later on, say, YouTube, you can write your answers there, and I will get back to you within a day or so. That would be great. Regards. You could say regards instead of thanks. I would capitalize the R. So use capital R when you write regards. Both are acceptable in this situation, but should be capitalized for sure. You did put the comma. So in the original email, there's no comma, right? We want to put our comma after thanks. You could say thank you, Disha. Yeah, exactly. But the comma is important when you're closing your email. All right, I think we found 8 or 9. That's pretty good. Let's go to my answer. I've highlighted the things that I would change. So we talked about the subject. Hi, Greg. Change it to, like I said, working from home next week. I wonder if I am allowed, or I would be allowed to work from home next week. Capital M. My wife is traveling or will be traveling out of town, and I need to pick up the kids from school or at school. Also, I will take or would like to take my lunch break from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. instead of, Disha got that one, 12 to 1 p.m. So I won't miss work when I pick them up. This is one that a lot of people make a mistake on. So in the original one, I said pick up them. Have to say pick them up. Maybe it's not 100% you have to, but it sounds a lot better. This is called a phrasal verb. This is a separable phrasal verb. Pick up is a phrasal verb. Separate them with the object. In this case, them. I don't have any meetings scheduled and I can catch up on my paperwork without any distractions. Please let me know if this is acceptable. Thanks. And the last one is Lawrence. It's his name, so we should capitalize it. I think there are 12, but possibly not. We have 15 minutes. Let's take a bit of time for you guys to write a short, let's say 3 or 4 sentence email. Don't worry about addressing the email. Don't worry about the to and the from, but you can write the subject line. So write subject line and then a short 3 or 4 sentence email. You have a choice to write one of these 3 topics. Topic number 1, write an email to a company to complain about a product or service. Ask for your money back. This happens a lot. We're not happy with a service that we paid for, or say a restaurant, we go and the food is bad. We can complain. Writing directly to the manager of that restaurant, maybe we'll get our money back, or they'll send us a coupon for another visit. That's option number 1. Option number 2, write an email to a coworker to reschedule a meeting. In this meeting, you cannot attend for some reason. Ask them to change the time to a new day, a new time where you can have that meeting. And the next line says suggest a new date and time. Finally, number 3, send an email to a manager to report a workplace incident. Something happened in your workplace. For example, coworkers said something bad to you. They called you an ugly moron, right? You didn't like it, so you want to tell the manager what they said. Possibly somebody was breaking the rules. They were smoking in the bathroom, and you're not allowed to smoke in the workplace. You need to tell the manager what that person did. You have a choice. If you want to take more time and work on it, you don't have to rush through this right now. You can email it to me later. Write as much or as little as you want. I will stick around in case any of you want to do it right now for about 10 minutes or so. If you think you can finish, we can go over it, make the corrections now. If you want to do it later, that's okay as well. If you want to do it later, I have this really great website. I used some of the information to create this lesson. It's from the British Council. They have a lot of great learning English resources. This one is https://learnenglish.britishcouncil.org/business-english/english-emails. But you can just search for Learn English British Council and you'll come across this website. But it's really helpful. They've got a lot of good practice, resources, vocabulary that you can use to improve your language. If you're leaving right now, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Be sure to follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And if you want to complete the writing task and send it to me, my email address is ian@rightstartcanada.ca. But I will stick around for 10 minutes or so if you want to write your email now and put it in the comments section. Sorry, I'm looking around. My cats are around here, and I just want to check and make sure they're okay. I will introduce you to them someday when they're feeling better. I'd love for you to meet them. They're wonderful kittens. I'll tell you the story about how we got them too. It's an interesting story. If you're just joining us now, here are your 3 choices for writing a business email. Depending on your level, you may choose to write more, right? If you're, say, a level 7 or 8, you can write a couple of paragraphs, say 2 or 3 paragraphs. If you're, say, level 3, you might only be able to write a few sentences. But that's okay, right? It's about what you can do at your level. Challenging yourself to write a little bit more than you did last time, right? And make fewer mistakes and use a few new vocabulary words, right? It's not about being perfect all the time. It's about being a little bit better than you were before. All right. Anyone want to finish your email? I know I don't want to rush you. We do have a few minutes left in the live stream if anybody wants to write your email and share it. I think that would be a great activity. If somebody does share their email, we can go over it together and we can sort of help to give some feedback on this person's email. I think that writing is sort of an underrated skill these days. A lot of people focus on listening and speaking, but a lot of business is done through email and through writing. And if you don't practice it, when the time comes, oops, I didn't mean to post that. It's a little bit hard, like when you push enter, it might send the message. So you might want to write it in like a notes file or a text file and then copy and paste it in the comment section if you're having trouble, writing what you want to say. I'm going to just write down an example here. You guys keep writing. If you're writing, I'll write one too. All right, since nobody has posted their response yet, I'll just post a sample one. This is the one that I wrote. Showed up in different places. All right, here's mine. Oh, it got cut off. Maybe it's too long for a comment, so you might be best to send it as an email. Here's the one that I wrote, the first part anyway. So write the subject. The subject is refund for a terrible meal at your restaurant. And then this was supposed to be the next line. To whom it may concern. Next line. Several days ago, my friend and I visited your restaurant. Unfortunately, we didn't have a good experience. The food was bland and the server was very rude with us. She took almost 20 minutes to check on our order, and when it arrived, the soup was cold and the steak was uncooked. When we complained, she just shrugged and rolled her eyes. Please refund us our money or else we will make a complaint to the Better Business Bureau. You can reach me at my phone number to discuss this matter. Regards, my name. All right, so it doesn't look great because I put it in the comments section. You guys would be best to send it as an email. So if you've already started writing as a comment, you can copy it, paste it in an email to me. And I think that's probably the best way to go about this. All right. Well, thank you for watching. Sorry we didn't quite have enough time for this last activity, but send it to me as an email. My email address is here, ian@rightstartcanada.ca, and I'll be happy to check on your writing. I know a few days ago, people have been sending me some emails asking me to check the writing, and I'm happy to do that as long as I have time. Well, thank you guys for joining us for another Learn Canadian English live stream. My name's Teacher Ian, and I will see you next week on Tuesday, 6:30 to 7:30 Atlantic time. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.